Woke up in Sibiu, Romania at 10 in the morning on Tuesday, May 28, 2024. This was the third day of the trip, drying the socks I had washed last night. Since spending a night here in Sibiu was a spontaneous decision, we left our luggage in the hotel room in Bucharest. We bought this chicken sandwich yesterday at the Brașov train station. The most attractive thing about staying in this apartment-style room as a tourist is that you feel like you live in the city just like other residents. You get to imagine how it feels like to be living here. Cash was placed under books and the owner agreed with this payment method. A duvet was hung up there. Looked like a small residential community. Closed the very old gate door and we checked out. This was the massive and old gate door. It was sunny, blue sky and white clouds. We walked through this parking area when heading to the city center. How did people drive away if everyone parked like this? And here they were, the eyes on the roof. The windows on the roof looked like eyes, as if every house had its own pair of eyes. A fountain in the middle of the square. I think the golden tap was for drinking water, but I'm not sure. Pigeons came to take a shower. They rang the bell at 11 a.m. The Starbucks in Sibiu grew plants indoor. I was so shocked. You would see plants at the first sight if trying to have a look at the coffee shop from the outside. I thought they were fake plants at first. Pedestrian-only zone is literally the fundamentals of good quality tourism. Look just like pairs of eyes, so incredibly special. A kind of broken roof behind this roof. I explored further and saw stairs going to the lower part of the city. Thin bricks of the roof were falling off. Views over there seemed to be mountains. The benches in this cobblestone zone were solar panels attached and had USB sockets. I thought this idea was innovative, but I'm not sure how well it overcomes the rainy days. In the middle, we can see a big group of tourists. A huge downhill path. Postcard quality view everywhere. If looking at the window closely, it looked less alike to an eye. Walking and wandering around. Were these for parking the bikes? Beautiful design. They used bandages to make the tree stand still. Looked like a cartoon character. 2 baby carriages parked outside. Looking for a cafe. We found one on this street. I was filming the street on the stairs and was about to go down. A lovely shop. A big gate door which was so similar to the one of our hotel building. A relatively small door set for regular walk past in the big door. Quite broken. This was the street I filmed minutes ago, and then we realized that the cafe was closed even though it didn't state so on Google Map. Got no choice but to find another one. The place I pointed to was the closed cafe. It actually put chairs and tables out. National flag. Saw a shop selling postcard, one for 50 pence. The shop also had adorable tiny houses for decorations. And here would be the cafe. The menu was displayed outside. The style was very modern. They sold coffee beans and floral ingredients as well. Superb latte art. We took a table outdoor and faced a rose garden. I love roses. I must go forward to have a look. We kept wandering the city after finishing our coffees. Eyes here looked more exaggerated. Is it just me, or Sibiu is really similar to Bruges? Bright green color, so cool. A bubble tea shop. A very famous tower building. Next to the tower building, there was an ice cream shop and it had a cone of flowers at the entrance. Was about to have lunch. This long green zone separated the traffic and the pedestrian-only zone. I'm always jealous when a nation takes its tourism industry seriously and is willing to have a spacious area vehicle-free. Of course, the citizens have to be supportive too. This kind of well-developed from tourism perspective, places deserve all the tourists falling in love and spending money to visit. This should be the sports center. The entrance of the restaurant was not noticeable since it was one floor lower. So cool. The atmosphere was so unique, very traditional. We took this table for two. It's like a cubicle. The napkin was set in a small wine barrel-shaped cup. I wanted to have the tripe soup and the cabbage wrap again. Traditional costumes, dried corns, and clay bottles were hung on the wall. We shared the tripe soup and also the vegetable soup, full of ingredients, generous portion. A thick bacon was placed on the cabbage rolls. They wrapped the meat with cabbage leaves. These were more sour than the ones we had on the first day. The tripe soup no longer impressed me. It was still very good though. The whole dining experience was less amazing than the one we had on the first day, but the atmosphere was still very special and delightful. Moreover, it turned out to be a temporary shelter when the pouring rain occurred. Saw a cat eating trash. We asked some shops for suggestions and they said we could find portable sockets here. This shop was not on the main road. Since my phone's battery was running low and it took 5 hours or so to get back to the hotel room in Bucharest, I decided to buy a portable socket. It was much more expensive than I thought, but I have been forever grateful for my decision back then. Around 4 in the afternoon, and we walked back to the square, heading to the train station. These were the streets I walked through last night. At the end of the day, I was just a visitor. I wanted to send postcards from Sibiu, but the post office was moved, like literally moved, so I gave up. The latte spilled over when I was running to board the train. The latte was from the vending machine at the train station. Thank you, portable socket. You saved my life. As I mentioned, it took at least 5 hours by train from Sibiu to the capital, so I guess it's time to explore the cabin. Here was the toilet, and the toilet paper was in pink. So adorable, just like the napkin we have for Taiwanese feast events, and a just unpacked soap ready for users. The alphabets CFR were burned onto the lid. Grounds, fields, and beautiful mountains. I was taking notes of the trip expense. The train stopped in the flower bushes. Amazing, just like a window seat of a garden cafe. This was the view at 6 p.m. I ate the croissant at 7 p.m. and I think it was a chocolate one. I quite enjoy croissant and I did search for the recipe and then realized it's very difficult to make. Sourdough bread is very difficult to make as well. Well, at least to me. Therefore, I admire outstanding bakeries very much. We stopped at a station for a long time at 8:30 p.m. Was it Brasov? I wanted to step onto the platform, but I might accidentally be left behind, so I didn't do it. It was refreshing enough just by standing near the door. The restaurant cabin was not in use. Vintage style. A passenger left her umbrella and bag on the seat and went to probably the toilet. I guess it expressed how safe the country was. Finally arrived at Bucharest around 10:30 at night. I was exhausted. The platform and the track were super close to each other, as if it was just a stair. There was a room of beverage vending machines at the train station. 10:30 p.m., I got myself 2 kinds of milk and then went to KFC for dinner. The KFC was crowded. It was so much fun to order and wait for the late night food with people. A very vivid night. It was almost 11 p.m. We ordered an Uber to get back to the hotel room and the driver was still without the seatbelt fastened. The KFC smelled so good, I could not wait. Yay, the fried chicken and the butter corn. I just occasionally crave for milk. Okay, 1 in the morning and me sleep. the last day in Romania. Good morning, capital. We were going back to Scotland. The car horn was sounded frequently on the street and I was woken by the loud noise. Their truck for unloading goods was parked on the more narrow street instead of the wider ones, while trucks in Taiwan just be parking on the red line on any kinds of streets occupying the space, both blocking parts of the road though, in different ways. The truck was quite far away from the store. Drivers in Taiwan be parking the truck right in front of the store. For today, would only be wandering around the city. I was trying very hard to finish the blueberries. Every time I assume the portion is perfect and then end up finding it overwhelming. All packed and this was all for me. Post office across the street to send the postcards. The reception lady let me put the stamps on by myself. We were heading that way. That should be the Romanian Ateneum. This part of the concrete road was curved, but it was not obvious to notice through the video. There seemed to be an ongoing event. It was a graduation ceremony. Well, congratulations to everyone. Due to the weather, they covered the graduation books with a plastic sheet, probably to prevent them from the rain. I wanted to find the entrance for the Romanian Athenaeum, but failed, so we went to the cafe instead. The lighting in the cafe toilet was amazing. The toilet was decorated with lovely items that made the space cozy. See this knob? This cafe was quite serious about their wooden cozy vintage style. Their toffee caramel hard candies were in flat square shapes, so adorable. Moreover, their menu was a newspaper, that stylish. A section for oolong tea options. Our Formosa was the third one. Please guys, please stop making latte and macchiato in one. Please, I beg. Even the knit table sheet was cute as hell. There was a painting on the wall at the entrance, and then I realized that it was actually a frame with several old-fashioned keys pinned on the wall. Some tables were the lower part of retired sewing machines. I assume the food pedal no longer works. This cafe roasted their own beans. Vintage decorations everywhere. Could also get to the first floor. It was not for seat though. They painted the extension on the wall. Looking down from the first floor, a mask hung between sheets. The bean roasting was scheduled during the opening hours. The notebook for keeping the written information was placed near the machine. Seeing the process from a close distance was such an amazing experience. One last meal before heading to the airport. There were still some dishes I had on the travel note but had not tried. 12:30 p.m. and the heavy curtain was going up. The sunny side up egg is the iconic element of this dish. It should be the BULZ. And here was the meat rolls. I'll call it mititei just for now, and if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. The flavor, especially the seasoning, was similar to Taiwanese pan-grilled steak, and the texture was more like burger meat or the steak we have in our night markets. So miracle, I never knew the texture of sausages or burger meat can be combined with the taste of steakhouse grill. It will make a fantastic sandwich. The BULZ looked like grain and bacon and cheese. I think I checked my travel note and then found it out of the menu. The grain people mainly consume in Romania is not my thing. Heading to the bus station. The weather was really nice. These round stones should be for securing the pedestrian-only section. Arrived at the airport, look at this strawberry tart. Several gates for passenger boarding were extremely close to the food court. Wow, I don't see this layout elsewhere at all. The croissant in restriction area was cheaper. Unfortunately, I had already bought one before going through the border. Time to get rid of coins, so I was buying myself a water. I think at that time, I could only afford the 8 lei one. And congratulations to me, it was sparkling. I mean, after the trip to Hungary, I have been more okay with sparkling water, so it was not too bad. The rain was so random. Everyone was like, where does this come from? Window seat and let's view watching. Yay! 4:30 p.m. croissant time. Bye bye, Romania. I ended up spending lots of time playing with the baby in the front seat. So cute. I went straight to Nicki Minaj concert after I got back. I was so happy.
谢谢大家收看我2024年5月底去罗马尼亚玩4天3夜的旅游影片。我写了一本小说叫《次等空姐》，大概10万字上下，已经全数上传到静文学的页面了。如果有出版社愿意出版，请跟我联系，谢谢。